Alright, let's dive into something that's been buzzing in the crypto space lately, the XRP ledger's latest upgrade. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, let me hit you with a thought. What if I told you that some of the most groundbreaking features in blockchain are actually second chances? Yeah, you heard me right. The XRP ledger is bringing back two features that were once pulled due to critical bugs. And personally, I think this is a perfect example of how innovation in crypto isn't just about moving forward, it's about learning from mistakes and refining what's already there. So, let's break this down. First up, the batch feature. This is a big deal because it allows up to 8 cross-account transactions to execute atomically. In simpler terms, it's like a group project where everyone's work either gets submitted together or not at all. What makes this really interesting is the potential it unlocks for complex financial operations. Imagine executing a series of trades or transfers in one go, without the risk of partial failures. But here's the kicker, this feature was pulled earlier because of a critical bug that could have allowed attackers to execute transactions without the proper keys. Scary, right? What many people don't realize is that this flaw wasn't just a small oversight, it was a fundamental issue in how signatures were validated. The fact that it's being reintroduced now shows how seriously the XRP Ledger team takes security. It's not just about adding features, it's about ensuring they're bulletproof. Next, we've got permission delegation. This one's a game changer for institutions. It lets them grant narrowly scoped signing authority without handing over the keys to the kingdom. From my perspective, this is huge for enterprise adoption. Think about it. Banks or companies can now delegate specific tasks to third parties without risking their entire operation. But, like batch, this feature had its own bug. It allowed one account to charge fees to another, potentially draining funds. Again, this was caught before it hit the main net, but it raises a deeper question: how do we balance innovation with security? The XRP Ledger's approach here is a masterclass in caution. They're not just rushing to implement new features, they're taking the time to get it right. Now, let's talk about the new amendments: confidential MPT, sponsored fees and reserves, and dynamic MPT. These are where things get really exciting. Confidential MPT combines zero-knowledge proofs with elliptic curve encryption, allowing private tokenized asset activity while still enabling audits. This is massive for compliance and privacy, two things that often feel at odds in crypto. Sponsored fees and reserves, on the other hand, lets institutions cover users' XRP costs. Personally, I think this could be a game changer for onboarding new users. One of the biggest barriers to crypto adoption is the complexity and cost of transactions. If banks or platforms can sponsor these fees, it removes a huge friction point. And then there's dynamic MPT, which lets issuers adjust token properties without full migrations. What this really suggests is that the XRP ledger is thinking long-term, making it easier for tokens to evolve over time. But here's the thing, none of these amendments are guaranteed to pass. They still need 80% validator approval for 2 weeks. And if you take a step back and think about it, this is one of the most democratic aspects of blockchain. The network decides, not just Ripple. It's a reminder that decentralization isn't just a buzzword, it's a core principle that's actively shaping the future of these platforms. So, what's the bigger picture here? In my opinion, this upgrade is a microcosm of the crypto industry's evolution. It's about learning from past mistakes, prioritizing security, and pushing the boundaries of what's possible. The XRP ledger isn't just adding features, it's laying the groundwork for a more scalable, secure, and user-friendly ecosystem. And if these amendments pass, it could set a new standard for how blockchains handle complexity and innovation. But here's my closing thought: as we celebrate these advancements, let's not forget the lessons learned along the way. Innovation is messy. It's iterative. And sometimes, it's about giving second chances. So, the next time you hear about a feature being pulled or a bug being fixed, remember, it's not a failure. It's a step toward something better. What do you think? Are these upgrades a game changer, or is there more work to be done? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, keep thinking critically and stay curious.